Hello, our foundations. We are now going to start our next unit, which is color theory. Hopefully, some of you will have colored medium at home, be it crayon, markers, watercolor paints, um, colored pencils, multiple colored Sharpie markers, whatever you have. I need you to start looking for some type of color medium. Okay, so here we go. Color is known as hue or chroma. Okay, so there's multiple names. The name given to the colors describe its location on your color spectrum, your color wheel. All right, your color wheel is circular, and believe it or not, Sir Isaac Newton is the one who came across and developed the color wheel first. All right, with his color spectrum and the prism and all that good stuff. It's going to be 12 colors, and it's divided into 3 color schemes. We have your primary colors, your secondary colors, and your intermediate colors. Intermediate is also known as tertiary. Right? Primary colors are your prime number 1 colors. You can't make them. They are pure colors, but they make all the other colors. So you have red, yellow, blue. Secondary colors are created by mixing 2 of your primary colors together. So of course you have yellow and red will make orange, yellow and blue will make green, and your blue and red will make violet or purple, whatever you want to call it. It's fine with me. Purple or violet, doesn't matter. Intermediate colors or tertiary colors are those in between colors, okay? Kind of like think of middle school, in between high school and primary school. So those in between. It's a 2-word name, and you have to say the primary color first when you are saying the name of your intermediate color. Because if you don't, it's not a true intermediate color. Right? So you have yellow and orange put together, it's yellow orange. So if you have red and orange, it's red orange. If you have yellow and green, yellow green. Blue and green, blue green. Blue and violet, blue violet. And red and violet is red violet. So it doesn't matter if I say, what do you get if you mix your orange and red together? You're not going to say orange red, you're going to say red orange. So always remember, state your primary color first when you name your 6 intermediate colors. Now we have neutral colors. These neutral colors refer to a color not associated with a hue. Okay, it's not really a hue, a color. We think more of your light. All right, so you have black, brown, white, and gray. Complementary colors are 2 colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. They also enhance one another. They make each other vibrant. All right. You think of sporting events, sport teams, like the LA Lakers, you're yellow and purple. You have like UVA, it's orange and blue. So these colors are really vibrant and they pop. All right. Now, if you don't have a handy dandy color wheel, you can still figure out how to or what your complementary color is. It's all has to do with mixing. So if you have a primary color, say yellow, you ask yourself, what 2 primary colors have I not used? And you say blue and red. Well, you mix those 2 together, and it's going to give you secondary color purple, which you can see yellow and purple are the opposite color. So again, you can take the color and you can figure out what 2 colors you haven't used or what 2 colors made it. Meaning, if I gave you green and I ask you what the complementary color is, you're going to have to first figure out what 2 colors made green. So green is made by yellow and blue, and you say, okay, which primary color did I not use? Red, and voila, red is your opposite color of green. So it's opposite colors on the color wheel, but you can figure it out if you don't have a color wheel to see, right? Analogous colors. These are closely related colors beside one another on the color wheel. They're also especially common hues, common colors. Sometimes we divvy them up into warm and cool colors. So it's divided right there in between. In fact, your yellow, green, and your red, purple can go either way. So technically, it looks like it's divided there, but they could be used as a warm or color. So they're bisecting two colors, right? Color intensity and saturation. Now we're talking about the quality of light in a color, pureness and brightness of a color. Your color is the purest when, the most intense, I should say, when it's the purest. Okay, so pure blue is the most intense that you're going to get out of the tube. After that, once you start adding white to it or gray to it or black to it, you start taking away your color's intensity. Okay, so color mixing techniques. You are going to be adding colors to one another, so it's really known as your subtractive technique because you're taking away its intensity. All right. Rule of thumb: if wanting a lighter color, though, when you are mixing, always start with white or your lightest of your colors, then add your darker when we start mixing colors. Now, we're not going to have the opportunity to do our acrylic paintings and stuff like that, but just know if you have the opportunity at home because you have paints, when you want to mix colors, you always start with your lightest colors and add your darkest colors to it. All right. You have, when you talk about values of a color, you have tint, tone, and shade. And tint is the lighter of a color. So you have white plus the color. It's going to make, like pink is red's tint. A shade is the darker of the color. And there's two ways you can get a shade. You can use black or you can use the color, complementary color. So if I wanted to have a shade of green, I could add a little bit of red to it and it's going to make it a darker green. All right. And then your tone is, it dulls it down. I always call these my Williamsburg colors because they look like the paint's been mixed with like putty or something, but it just dulls down your colors. It softens it and keeps it kind of neutral and dull. All right. Nothing wrong with those colors. Those are really great to have. You see them in nature all the time, especially when you're doing leaves and you're doing grass and bark on the trees. You want to do a lot of tones. So you want to use that gray color to help tone it down a little bit. Okay. Tons of color schemes. Okay. And color scheme is a planned combination of colors. You have complementary color schemes where you can just use your opposite colors on the color wheel and tints and tones and shades of it. You can do sections of your color wheel in analogous colors where you can just use all your blues and purples for one another or all your yellows and greens, or you can just divide it in half and do warm or cool. You have split complementaries, okay? And those are your complementary except instead of going directly opposite, and we'll talk about this, you're going to go side to side. You have triadic, which are spaced equally around. So there's lots of different combinations of colors. Monochromatic is one color ranging from light to dark, so white to black and your pure colors in between, and then you're going to have all those different ranges on both sides. You also can include tones in that as well. All right, so monochromatic is one color ranging from light to dark. Split complementary, like I mentioned earlier, is a color where you have one color and then you go directly across, define as complement, but you take the two colors on each side. So for yellow, it's going to be, instead of purple, it's going to be red purple and blue purple. All right, so it's a split complementary. You see that a lot in fashion, right? You have a triad color scheme. Those are three colors that are equally spaced on your color wheel. Primary colors, that's a triad, could be a triad color scheme. Your three secondary colors, excuse me, could be your triad. You could pick three of your intermediates as well, right? So triad. And here are examples of student paintings. That's why I'm really sad that we don't get to do our paintings in our foundations. But these are all student examples from Morehill, from our foundation people in the past. So take a look at them and tell me, can you figure out which color scheme they used? All right. So after this video, I want you to go in. I have 25 questions that are dealing with your color scheme that we just talked about. Go ahead and answer those. And then on Tuesday next week, we're going to start a color wheel.